My girlfriend said I was too emotionally cold, so I told her she'd miss the warmth someday. Months later, when she came back crying, I introduced her to the woman who taught me to feel again, and her smile faded instantly. I used to think emotional distance was strength. Growing up, my dad wasn't exactly a man of words. He was a man of action. When my mom got sick, he didn't cry. He worked overtime. When she passed, he didn't talk about grief. He just kept fixing things around the house like nothing had changed. I learned early that showing emotions was dangerous. It made you slow, weak, vulnerable. So yeah, maybe I wasn't the most expressive boyfriend. But I cared in my own ways. I made sure Emily never had to worry about her car breaking down, paid for her textbooks when she was short on cash, brought her soup when she was sick. That was my love language. I just didn't know how to say it out loud. Emily, on the other hand, was all feelings. She was spontaneous, emotional, loud when she laughed, louder when she cried. She wanted deep talks, romantic gestures, I love yous in the middle of the day. She used to tell me that being with me felt like hugging a wall. At first, I brushed it off. I thought she just wanted attention. But over time, her tone changed, from teasing to hurt. "You never open up," she said one night while we were watching a movie. "It's like you're not here with me, even when you are." I wanted to tell her she was wrong, that I was there, that I loved her, but the words got stuck in my throat. I remember nodding silently, eyes fixed on the TV screen, pretending to understand the plot. A week later, she said the words that still echo in my head. "You're too emotionally cold, Daniel. I can't do this anymore." No fight, no tears. She just packed a bag and left. It hurt, but I didn't chase her. I didn't text, didn't call. I told myself I was fine, that she was the one who couldn't handle real life, that if she needed constant validation, she could find it somewhere else. But nights were the hardest. My apartment felt like an empty warehouse. Every quiet moment echoed with her laughter, her footsteps, her favorite playlist. She always left playing too loud. For the first time, silence felt heavy. A month passed, then two. I buried myself in work, ate the same takeout, slept with the TV on, pretended I didn't check her Instagram from time to time. Then one day, at the coffee shop I always went to before work, something shifted. I spilled coffee on my shirt. I muttered a curse under my breath, and a soft voice behind me said, "You missed a spot." She handed me a napkin. Her name was Claire. She was the new barista, with tired eyes and an easy smile. I apologized for the mess, but she just laughed it off. There was something gentle in her tone, something grounding. The next day, she remembered my order. The next week, she asked how work was going. And one morning, when I accidentally called her Emily, she didn't flinch. She just said quietly, "Whoever she is, she must have meant a lot." I froze. No one had ever said it like that before, not as an accusation, but as an understanding. Over the next few months, we started talking more, not about work, not about weather, but about things that actually mattered. She told me about losing her brother, about nights she couldn't sleep, about the way she learned to breathe again. And somehow, she made it safe for me to do the same. The walls I built for years started to crack, slowly, quietly. I realized I wasn't emotionless. I was scared. Scared that if I opened up, I'd get hurt again. That being vulnerable meant being weak. But with Claire, it didn't feel weak. It felt real. By the time spring came, she wasn't the barista anymore. We were spending weekends together, hiking, cooking, laughing about how bad I was at chopping onions. And for the first time in a long time, I felt something I hadn't in years: warmth. That's when Emily texted me, "Hey, can we talk?" It had been 7 months. Her name flashing on my phone felt like seeing a ghost. I didn't reply right away. She messaged again. "I've been thinking about us. I was wrong. I miss you." My heart should have leapt, but it didn't. It just went quiet. Because by then, I had already learned what warmth really was, and who had taught me how to feel it again. Emily wanted to meet, just to talk. Her message sounded harmless, but I could feel the weight behind it. I didn't answer for a day. When I finally did, I kept it short. "Sure. Coffee at 5. Same place. That same cafe, the one where I'd met Claire." When I got there, Emily was already sitting at a corner table. Her hair was shorter, darker. She looked tired, but in that deliberate, Instagram-perfect kind of way, like she wanted me to know she was thriving. I sat down, nodded. She smiled, too quickly. "You look good," she said. "So do you," I replied. The silence that followed was heavy. Not hostile, just full of things we'd never said. She started first. I've been doing a lot of thinking. Therapy, journaling, all that stuff. I realized I might have been unfair to you. I didn't say anything. You're not cold, Daniel. You just didn't know how to show love. And I didn't know how to see it. Her eyes were soft, apologetic. I could tell she meant it. For a second, the old ache came back. That familiar pull of nostalgia, of what if. Then Claire walked in. She was carrying a tray of drinks, talking to another customer. When she saw me, her face lit up. Not a polite smile, but that quiet, genuine kind that reaches the eyes. "Hey, stranger," she said, walking over. "The usual?" Emily turned slowly, watching her. Her polite expression froze somewhere between surprise and suspicion. "Yeah," I said, smiling back. "Thanks, Claire." She nodded and went behind the counter, humming softly. Emily's voice dropped an octave. "She knows your order?" "She makes the best cappuccino in town," I said casually. Emily's jaw tightened. "So this is where you met her." I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Claire came back a minute later, placing the cup in front of me with her usual care. Emily didn't touch her drink. "She seems nice," Emily said finally, forcing a smile. "She is," I said. "She helped me a lot, actually." "With what?" I looked her in the eye. "With feeling things again." That landed like a stone in the middle of the table. Emily's face changed, surprise, then confusion, then something sharper. "You're dating her?" she asked. "Yeah," I said simply. For a few seconds, she didn't say anything. Her hand tightened around her cup, and her lips trembled just a little. "Wow," she whispered. "You moved on fast." "I didn't move on fast," I said quietly. "I just healed where I could." "She replaced me." "No," I said. "She reminded me I could be more than what you left behind." Her eyes glistened. "I thought you didn't do emotions," she said, her voice breaking just slightly. I gave a faint smile. I guess I just needed the right reason to start. Claire came by again, checking on us. She placed a napkin near Emily's untouched drink. "Everything okay here?" she asked softly. Emily nodded quickly, avoiding her gaze. "Perfect," she murmured. When Claire left, Emily leaned forward. "Do you love her?" I took a deep breath. I hadn't said it out loud before, but the answer came easily. "Yeah, I do." Her eyes filled instantly. She looked away, blinking fast. I just thought, maybe we'd find our way back. I wanted to tell her I'd thought the same, once. That there was a time when I imagined her as my future. But I didn't. Because the truth was, that version of me didn't exist anymore. I finished my coffee and stood up. "You were right, Emily," I said quietly. "I was emotionally cold. I didn't know how to love the way you needed me to. But now I do." She looked up, eyes red. "And it's too late, isn't it?" I nodded slowly. "It's not too late for you. Just for us." I walked out before she could answer. Outside, the evening sun hit the windows, painting everything gold. Claire was wiping down tables inside, smiling faintly as she worked. For a moment, I watched her, the way she moved, the way she hummed under her breath, unaware that someone was watching. And I realized, this was what warmth looked like. Not fireworks, not grand gestures, just peace. As I walked to my car, my phone buzzed. A text from Emily. "She'll never love you like I did." I typed back slowly. "That's kind of the point." Then I turned the phone off and drove home. Update 1. It had been 3 weeks since that coffee. Claire and I had settled into something calm. Dinners at home, slow mornings, laughter over burnt pancakes. Nothing dramatic, nothing heavy, just peace. Then, one Friday night, there was a knock at my door. 3 sharp knocks. Familiar. Claire was in the kitchen, stirring pasta. "Expecting someone?" she asked. "No," I said. When I opened the door, Emily stood there. Her hair was a mess, eyes swollen like she hadn't slept. She clutched her phone in one hand, the other holding a half-crumpled envelope. "We need to talk," she said. Her voice was small, urgent. I hesitated. Claire looked up from the kitchen, instantly sensing the shift. "Everything okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I lied. "Just give me a second." I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. Emily exhaled shakily. "I shouldn't be here," she started. "But I can't stop thinking about what you said." "What did I say?" "That it's not too late for me." I sighed. "Emily." "No, please. Let me finish." Her voice cracked. "I made a mistake, Daniel. I thought you were cold, but you were just trying to love me in your way. And I was too blind to see it. I don't care about pride or the past anymore. I just want another chance." Her eyes searched mine desperately, waiting for a sign, any sign. I wanted to say something kind, something that would make her pain a little smaller. But before I could, the door opened behind me. Claire stepped out, wiping her hands on a towel. She froze when she saw Emily. "Oh," she said softly. "Hi." Emily straightened instantly, like she'd been caught doing something she wasn't supposed to. "You must be Claire," she said, voice tight. "I am," Claire said calmly. "And you must be Emily." The air between them was sharp enough to cut. "We were just talking," I said quickly, trying to ease the tension. "I can see that," Claire replied, eyes never leaving Emily's. "Would you like to come in, or?" Emily shook her head. "No. This is between Daniel and me." Claire's tone stayed level. "If it involves Daniel, it involves me." For a long moment, no one spoke. The only sound was the quiet clinking of cutlery from the kitchen behind us. Emily looked at me again, pleading. "She doesn't know what we had. You don't just erase that." Claire stepped closer, her voice still calm but unshakable. "No one's trying to erase anything. But Daniel doesn't live in the past anymore." Emily's lip trembled. "You think you know him better than I do?" Claire didn't flinch. "No, I just know who he is now." I finally spoke. "Emily, I'm sorry. I meant what I said. It's not too late for you, but it is for us." Her breathing hitched. "So that's it. After everything." I nodded slowly. "That's it." She stared at me for a few seconds, then at Claire. Her expression shifted, sorrow melting into something colder. "You'll regret this," she whispered. "People like her, they always change when things get real." "Maybe," I said softly. "But she's never made me feel small." "That's enough." She blinked, eyes wet, and then she turned and walked down the hall without another word. Claire waited until the elevator doors closed before looking at me. "You okay?" I nodded, though I didn't feel okay at all. Inside, the pasta had gone cold. Claire reheated it, humming quietly while I sat at the table, still processing the encounter. After a while, she said, "She's hurting, but she'll move on." "I hope so," I said. "She deserves peace." Claire smiled faintly. "So do you." That night, I dreamed of the past, laughter, fights, silent dinners that felt endless. But when I woke up and saw Claire sleeping beside me, everything settled. The noise stopped. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like I owed anyone an explanation for my peace. The next morning, there was one new text on my phone. From Emily. "You think she's better for you. You'll see." No threats, no tears. Just that. I didn't reply. I just blocked her number and deleted every photo, message, and reminder I still had. Not out of anger, out of release. Later that evening, I got a call from a mutual friend. "Hey man, just a heads up. Emily's been posting weird stuff online. Old pictures of you too, captions about second chances, things like that." I sighed. Let her have it. If it helps her let go, that's fine. But inside, I knew something had shifted. This wasn't the end. Final update. It's been 8 months since Emily showed up at my door. Claire and I are still together. We moved into a small place outside the city, quieter, slower. She has her art studio, and I've learned that peace doesn't always mean silence. Sometimes, it's just the absence of tension. But yesterday, I got a letter. A real one, handwritten, folded neatly inside a cream envelope. No return address, but the handwriting was unmistakable. Emily's. I didn't open it right away. It sat on my desk for hours while I worked. Every time I glanced at it, part of me wanted to tear it up, to refuse whatever emotional hook might be waiting inside. But by evening, I gave in. It wasn't long. 2 pages. No theatrics. Just ink, quiet and deliberate. "Daniel, I'm writing because I don't know who else would understand what I'm feeling. Not because I think you'll take me back, but because I need to say things I couldn't when I still wanted you to fix them. I was wrong about a lot. About you mostly. I told myself you were cold because it was easier than admitting I didn't know how to be loved without chaos. You were steady, consistent. I thought that meant you didn't care enough. Now I realize that was love, the kind that doesn't beg to be noticed. I don't expect forgiveness. I just hope you're happy. I hope you found someone who doesn't confuse calm for indifference. For what it's worth, I'm in therapy now. I'm learning things about myself I didn't want to face before. Maybe someday I'll be the kind of person who wouldn't have hurt you the way I did. Thank you for not hating me when you had every reason to." Emily. I read it twice, and for a few minutes, all I could do was sit there, remembering small things, the smell of her shampoo, the way she'd hum off-key when she cooked, The way her hand used to twitch when she was nervous. Memories that weren't bitter anymore. Just there. Claire came home later that night and found me still holding the letter. Old ghosts, she asked gently. Something like that. She didn't ask to read it. She didn't need to. She just sat beside me, her hand finding mine, grounding me in the present. After dinner, I went out onto the balcony with a glass of whiskey and watched the city lights blink like small, deliberate heartbeats. I thought about how easily love can turn into guilt, how closure isn't something you get, it's something you build. Emily's words didn't hurt. They didn't stir any old flame. But they reminded me that people break differently. Some shatter loudly. Some quietly lose themselves and call it freedom. A few weeks later, a mutual friend mentioned that Emily had moved to Portland. New job, new start. She looked healthier, apparently, lighter somehow. I was genuinely glad. Life moved on. Claire and I took a trip to Italy that spring. She painted in Florence while I worked remotely. One night, as we walked across Ponte Vecchio, she stopped and said, "You know what I love about us? We don't need to prove anything." And that's when it hit me. That love isn't supposed to feel like a test you keep failing. It's supposed to feel like breathing. Sometimes, I still get random DMs from strangers who follow Emily's old social media. People saying things like, "Hey, didn't you two date?" Or "She posted a poem that sounded like it was about you." I don't reply. There's no point. We all write our own endings, some in ink, some in silence. A few nights ago, I took that letter, folded it back up, and placed it in a box with a few other mementos from my past, not as trophies, but as proof that I survived versions of myself I don't want to be again. That box sits on the highest shelf in my closet. Not forgotten, not glorified, just still. And when Claire teases me about being emotionally cold, I just smile. Because she says it while laughing, while touching my arm, while knowing it's not true. Maybe that's what healing really is. Not pretending the past didn't happen, but realizing it doesn't get to define the rest of you. So yeah, Emily was right, in her own way. I was emotionally cold. But sometimes, you have to freeze to stop the bleeding. Now, I'm warm again, but carefully so. And that's enough.